To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
Hello, and good morning. Welcome. I'm so glad to have each and every one of you here with me today. We're going to take a look at a few of these things. Now, here's what we're going to do. Let me tell you how this is going to work. We're just looking together. None of us have any answers to any of this stuff. None of us. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through some of the things that we've been sent. We're going to look through some of the stuff that's just out there as if we're all doing it together for the very first time. What do you think about that? Do we need a roll call? Do I need to check it out? I see David, Jacqueline, Rage, Starfire, James, Vine Dressers, Branch, Daryl, Zeb, Chima. Hello. All right, you guys. Have you been taking a look at X? Because if you've been looking at X, you're going to see a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. One thing I have to say about Muskie is he allows a lot more than the other people for now. Right, Joy? He allows a lot of stuff, more so than the other people that had it before. But anyway, I want to take a look at some things. There's been a lot of stuff that's been sent to me, and thank you all for sending stuff. Let's look at Stu Peters. He is a bold one. Let's look at his page.
No, I've never seen it like this either. What is going on?
I'm going to put it right back here. Go back.
What? John, get out of there! No, I've never seen it like this either. What is going on? What?
Sometimes you just got to let stuff play and don't even give it a narration. But as you can see, that's on the ground, and it's literally sliding in Maui. It's just on the ground, and it's like sliding. I think this is Maui. Yeah, he said it was Maui. But if it wasn't, it's on him. Yeah, just on the ground. It's like sliding across the ground, like somebody in skates. I don't know, you guys. Let's take another look at something else. Let's take another look. We're going to look at some more stuff off of the twatters. I'm going to take another look off of the X twatters. See what they got. What do we have here? Oh, okay. This. He tried to give food.
FEMA and Red Cross. So
look at this.
The government withholding every single one of our donations because we are not a part of FEMA and Red Cross. So none of this is eligible for giving out. Tell me why. I have no freaking clue. The government withholding every single one of our donations because we are not a part of FEMA and Red Cross.
Excuse me.
So none of this is eligible for giving out. Tell me why.
None of it.
I have no freaking clue. The government withholding.
They can't give any of it. They're just sort of holding it there. Now, didn't we just get through saying something yesterday about taking in donations and selling them outright, or taking in donations and doing other stuff? That's what I said about not necessarily withholding them, but doing something else with them. So, yeah. So they can't give them to anybody. They just have to sit there. Somebody here says, I'm very concerned about donations to Red Cross. Well, I feel like this is just one of those times where they're just doing their thing. And that's that. That's what I think it is. All right, so let's take a look at some more stuff. I got a couple of stories that I do want us to gloss over. And that is the fact that, I don't know how much to say about Oprah and all those people. I really don't even think they're people anymore. I think we're just dealing with a group of evil, wicked people who just want to have what they want. But I do understand that for a minute they were trying to get them off that land. Let's take a look at a mulch fire of all things. We're looking at all different types of fires all throughout the United States today for the next 45 minutes. And we're taking a gander at it. This one is in Houston, a mulch fire out in Houston. Let me give you the full screen. All right. Houston mulch fire at Living Earth on Crawford. Houston mulch fire at Living Earth on Crawford could take a week to extinguish. Now, this was yesterday. This was what we were talking about. I think it was BP Earthwatch when we went to go look at his page. This is that. So the Houston Fire Department says the fire has been contained and the firefighters left the scene around 5 a.m. on Monday. The operation has been turned over to a private fire protection company that will continue to extinguish the fire. Okay. So I guess you guys, and correct me if I'm wrong. So contain means that they prevented it from spreading as opposed to it's out. And that's the reason why they've turned it over to somebody else. Is that what that means? Because that sort of confused me there. I think that's what that means. Yeah, let's reread it. Yeah, they said that it's been contained and then they just turned it over to a private fire protection company that will continue to extinguish it. Maybe they use like foam or something once it gets down to a little bitty thing. So it says the HFD was dispatched to the fire around 2:27 p.m. on Sunday in the 5800 block of Crawford Street. A plume of smoke could be seen coming from the area. The fire department, that after battling the blaze for about an hour, it showed signs of improvement. However, the winds then picked up, which led to a surge in fire intensity and reduced visibility from the thick smoke. That sounds like somebody set it afire. Do you know why? There's a difference. What I've noticed is that the folks that are fighting the other fires, you don't really see them on the ground. Let me come back over here and look at y'all. Why don't you tell me what you think? Have you guys noticed that? Have you seen any people like firefighters on the ground with these other fires that remind me of directed energy? I haven't seen people on the ground fighting the fire. It's almost as if it's A, too hot, and B, happens too quickly. So at least they had people on the ground, which tells me this could be, it could be a couple of things. Could be arson. Could be somebody wanting to, take advantage of their insurance policy. It could be a bevy of things. Does anybody realize there's a Hawaii illuminated card in the Illuminati? Really? I didn't know that. Maybe we should look that up. But does anybody notice that? Boy, the news just keeps coming, doesn't it? The hits just keep coming. The hits just keep coming. So there are several wildfires that are going on, that have been going on, and I don't think a lot of us have noticed a lot of it. Again, we talked about the Wyoming fires briefly yesterday as we looked at the map of what was burning when we were talking about Oregon and a few other places. But I had no clue that we had all of this going on in one spot, as in the United States. But I did take a look, and there's some other stuff going on in other countries as well. Let me give you guys some of the stuff that I pulled for you, and I want you all to, let's just get into the nuts and bolts of it. Let's just get into the nitty gritty. That's it. We got to just get into it. I hope everybody is doing great today. I hope everyone is doing well. You guys, we are going to have all of our recalls now on the other channel. Betty R and I were in there alone yesterday, and we were hammering out a recall about Nestle's chocolate chip cookies, which was one that we forgot to put over here yesterday. So with that said, we are going to turn the TLP Headlines with a Voice. It's a very baby channel. It's got like 527 on there, little baby channel. It's not even monetized. It's a little one. And we're going to use that as all the recalls because there's so many coming out. I was like, oh my God, we could just turn this whole channel into recalls alone so that everybody could just use that as the source of all things recalls. So TLP Headlines with a Voice. You're going to go over there today and you'll see that there's a Nestle's cookie thing for yesterday. It's got about 23 views on it. But it's discussing the fact that, yeah, there's a whole bunch of recalls, and we're going to carry them over there on that channel. Join us, won't you? All right. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let me give you this one. And then let me put this one up in the top. And then we put this one in the top. Got a lot of good ones for you. York Fire. Had anyone heard of York Fire? Remember, you guys, we just having a conversation. I'm not the Messiah. We just hanging out. But had anyone heard of York Fire? The York Fire. Let me show you this, and we'll look at the news portion of it as well. Let me show you this. Comes out of Nevada, this news does.
And her grandcat.
Okay, let's see. Come on. All right.
I'm Kelsey McFarland, and right now on your Channel 13 News Update, we have some breaking news from overnight that a man and woman are dead after an apparent murder-suicide.
That's not what we want.
Police say it happened in an apartment complex at Star Avenue in Bermuda in the southwest part of the valley. Officers respond.
That's very sad, but we don't want to know that. I want to see the York Fire. Is this the York Fire? Mercy. Is this it? Mercy. Anyway, it's okay, lady. I can do this. I got it. Thanks anyhow. Thank you anyway, baby. I got you. Las Vegas KTNV wildfire that has been burning for 2 weeks in the Mojave National Preserve is dying out. I had no clue that there was one even there until we all started looking into this the other day. No clue at all. So they say that it's dying out. According to the Bureau of Land Management, the York Fire is 98% contained. The fire has burned 93,700 acres as of Thursday afternoon. Now, officials said the firefighters will still work through the weekend to look for hot spots and maintain established containment lines. The burned area emergency response team also has been sent to the area. The officials said that the team will look at the area for other threats, for other wildfire threats that could cause safety issues. The example, fires burn plants and expose soil to erosion and increase the water runoff, which could lead to future flooding. Is this it? No, that's somebody's explaining something else. You know, I don't really like how these people do this stuff with the advertisement. It's almost like they're trying to grab everybody at one time. And don't go to a website just once and look, because if you just peek at it or glance at it or somebody sends it to you, they send it to you all the time. You'll be look, there's Kroger. Didn't we just do a story on Kroger the other day? And now all of a sudden here we are being bombarded with Kroger. Anyway, the Mojave National Preserve officials, they said that the official closure order put in place for the York Fire area will remain in effect until further notice. But I had no clue. So this is the area that they had it in. Those closures include the Invapaw Road between Morningstar Mine, what a name, Morningstar Mine Road and Cedar Canyon, as well as Hart Mine Road. Did anybody out there know about this? The preserve officials said those closures will give crews time to look for and fix issues like sinkholes, burned out bridges, weakened structures that might contain hazardous materials, and washed out roads. Oh, wait a minute, Joshua Tree as well? Preserving world famous Joshua Tree complicates the fight to contain the fire. Anyway, it goes on to say that right now the Mojave National Preserve is under extreme fire restrictions, and that means that all open flames and smoking are banned for the time being. The only exceptions are controlled flame devices that will shut off valves, that have shut off valves on them, like gas stoves and lanterns. Investigators are still trying to determine what caused the fire. However, they said that it started on private land in the Mojave National Preserve. Now, that seems like it could be more of a true story to me, not that it's necessarily a good thing, right? But it does seem to be something that is a little more believable. That's what I say. I think it's a little bit more believable. So, considering that, and besides the fact that I see people present, I see physical people there trying to fix it. Down here in Hawaii, I ain't seeing that. And I almost, don't even want to go back to the Hawaii story because it just pisses me off and gets worse and worse every day. Ricky 12 says local officials in Hawaii, people looking at their response. Ah, well, I want to go on to the twatters. Let me go on over here to X and let me see what else they got going on because they've been putting up a lot of stuff. And as we're just glancing with each other, just glancing, we'll probably find more stuff. Okay, let's look at this. Huh, boy. Yeah, let's just do that. Because I'm telling you, before they're able to take all this stuff down, we may as well glance before they're able to take it all down. Because somebody's going to say something, something's going to happen, and they're going to do something. So let's just glance through here and see. And then we'll go into the rest of the actual print articles that we have to read. Okay, let's look at this here. I'm going to ask, hey, Starfire, what's going on, lady? You see that, though? The burning, look at that. It's just like, I don't want to hear the music, sir, madam. Especially if I get dinged for something so trivial. I'm just looking at how the red is. It's like it's burning from the inside out, if that makes sense. And that's one thing that I noticed about that type of fire is that it does burn from the inside out. Let's see. Was that real? What was this? Let's see what else they got. What else you got, baby? What else you got, baby? Nothing. There's extremely odd, somebody says. I just want to take a gander at this picture. What is with the shoulder pads? He's from the Rothschild family. I think it's Rothschild. Yeah. What is with the shoulder pads? Looks like something out of a 1972 movie. There's nothing. There's nothing. Let me put the word fire in here and see what happens. Can someone please explain to me how this book was written and published, then sold on Amazon less than a week after the Maui fire started? Well, you got ChatGPT, buddy. You got ChatGPT, buddy. Fire and Fury. Fire and Fury, the story of the 2023 fire, Maui fire, and the implications for climate change. Yeah, and I guarantee you that the little computer thing had no problem writing that out. What is this? AM winds were strong. We've had in years, rooftops were flying off the tops of houses, so we decided not to open our front doors. Still no power. Allegedly, this is Hawaii. After 30 minutes, we began questioning the smoke. We know black equals structure. We looked out the other side and we saw that it was moments when they realized that they had to go. Oh my God, they were actually watching it. The scariest moment of my life. Let me pause this. Let's go back. The scariest moment of my life. We made our way out of racing. Now, I'm already blind as a bat and I can't hardly see this. The scariest moment of my life. We made our way out racing for the animals. We threw the cats in the duffel bags and the backpack straps. my son something to me, get the family out, down 4 flight of stairs. I couldn't feel myself and forced my way down as I saw a brush fire in our parking lot. Just go, replayed in my mind. My Lord, my Lord. No sirens, they said, were given. That's terrible. No sirens. Oh, they're talking. 10 minutes later.
Look behind us. Look behind us.
Hear the cats in the duffel bag?
Go drive down the bypass for a minute and just see how far we go and just see what happens. And then we can just come back up, turn around. Because it's just an open highway at this point.
You couldn't look anywhere without seeing fires or hearing explosions. We couldn't believe what was happening to our town, it says. Oh, poor baby. Hurricane winds. It just makes you want to go off. After hours being pushed along the Pale sunsets, and we decided to brave the winds to drive to Kahului, we were turned away. What? At Safeway gas station and decided to camp out at Target along with other evacuees from the island. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Isla underscore trip. ISLA _ trip. This is at 4 a.m. No power and all the shingles are coming off the wind, off the top of the roofs. That's how it began. At least this person put up some substantive stuff. Received a call from my coworker. The brush restarted outside of her window. Restarted. Wow. I had to double check it. I had to double back on it. That's horrifying. What is this? As we just go through Twitters. This lady talks about what governor of Maui, is it the governor of Hawaii? The governor of Hawaii or Maui? Said before the fires in Lahaina. It's interesting. Okay, let's have a gander. We don't know if this is true. We're just gonna play it, but we cannot vouch that this is any true.
This is where a wildfire occurred. This is some of the drone footage of the absolute devastation of Lahaina. This is where a wildfire occurred. Wildfires don't do this. In the middle of this mass devastation, which looks like an explosion happened, there are trees that are standing. There are telephone poles that are standing. But it's okay because the governor said it was climate change. This is the same governor who said that the state is looking for ways to acquire Lahaina. There are investors and realtors who are actively calling these individuals who have lost everything and asking them if they can buy their land. To the left. Next month in September, Hawaii is hosting a digital government summit utilizing AI to govern the island. In January, there is set to be a smart city conference in Maui to change everything over to electric and to discuss how to make the island a 15-minute city, a 15-minute island. Okay, yeah, but let's just continue to make it rain on the crane. This is creating a problem so that they can present a solution. Instagram, don't forget the little ticker at the bottom.
Okay, so she says that they're just starting a solution. Now, listen, I did get that little link yesterday for the conference that she's talking about. And what I try to do is infiltrate it by sneaking in it because I wanted to see exactly where it was located. It is on the main island. It's on Honolulu. And yeah, it's already been planned for some time. But when I got the little information, I showed the little invitation deal for this thing that she was talking about to make it a smart city, 15-minute city. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a 15-minute city, doesn't that mean that you can get everywhere and do everything you need to do in 15 minutes, you guys? I think that's what that means. Like I can get from the house to the grocery store, to the church, to the bank, to the everywhere in 15. Is that what that means? You guys help me out with that. But nonetheless, yeah, they want to change and do everything that they want to do. And it's so, the fact that they do what they're doing right now with such great impunity is amazing to me. Yeah, you're right, Starfire. They're salivating. They're salivating. While we sit here and we know, that's why we can't pretend like we don't know. That's why we can't pretend like we didn't see it. We seen it. We seen you. We seen you. You know my favorite line, Bozo, we see you behind that tree with them big old Bozo shoes. Okay. Oh, I like this guy. Is this that guy that is this?
Survivors of the Maui
I love
fire
him.
say that they received no warning and that the flames appeared so quickly that escape was difficult. Everything was suddenly in flames, and many found refuge in the ocean for hours while their homes burned to the
I'm gonna
ground.
start it over because I like him. I don't want to use music. I doubt that he'll care.
Survivors of the Maui fire say that they received no warning and that the flames appeared so quickly that escape was difficult. Everything was suddenly in flames, and many found refuge in the ocean for hours while their homes burned to the ground and into the same powdery ash footprint we've seen in recent years. So far, it is estimated that nearly 1,000 people have died. Locals are worried this includes hundreds of children who were home due to school being canceled that day. Several people are reporting that the government is not only doing little to help, but they are blocking local efforts to do so and are not allowing local donations through, and that they are blocking life-saving medicine because it isn't federally approved.
Denying people access to bring in supplies, just supplies for people to live.
The government withholding every single one of our donations because we are not a part of FEMA and Red Cross. So none of this is eligible for giving out. Tell me why? I have no freaking clue.
The people of Maui are on their own for now. And aside from the federal government's bureaucratic failure, they have good reason to be suspicious. Just like what we saw 5 years ago in Paradise, California, there was nothing normal about these fires. Within a day of burning, it was like a bomb went off.
When you see the full extent of the destruction of Lahaina, it will shock you. It does appear like a bomb and fire went off, if I may. And all of those buildings virtually are going to have to be rebuilt. It will be a new Lahaina.
Local residents have been reporting bright flashes of light. One was captured by a home security camera that appears to have been the start of the Olinda fire. Many people are saying that it was directed energy weapons. We know that most major governments already have them. And during the California fires, online weather maps recorded what looks like a laser from above, striking an area just before it bursts into flames. In his research, Dennis Mills discovered that the incendiary aluminum and barium nanodust from chemtrails is most likely fueling the ferocity of today's so-called super wildfires. And on the day before the Maui fires broke out, locals were reporting a heavy overcast from chemtrailing that they'd never seen before. It's also interesting to note that the Maui police chief was the incident commander for the Las Vegas mass shooting in 2017. Lahaina is considered to be a historic and sacred land. It was the capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii before it was taken by the United States. It's been occupied by Native Hawaiians ever since, who are defiantly opposed to the mainland outsiders who have been buying up land with no respect for local culture. Not just BlackRock and Vanguard, but billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, who owns more land on Kauai than what the government of Kauai owns, and Oprah Winfrey, who has bought over 1,000 acres of land in Hawaii, including a new 870 acres in Maui she just bought this spring. In 2018, the Paradise wildfires broke out exactly where the United Nations have plans to somehow make off-limits to humans. And that same year, a report on wildfire prevention was published that was focused on the exact same areas in Maui where the fires just broke out.
All the historic downtown, all of it is demolished and all the houses gone. But those commercial big box stores are still there.
Hawaii Governor Josh Green has been putting the World Economic Forum's Great Reset agenda ahead of Hawaiian interests. Just weeks before the fire, he unveiled an emergency proclamation on housing that eliminates the traditional Land Use Commission, allowing the government more leeway to build as they see fit, such as building 15-minute smart cities run by artificial intelligence, just like they've been planning to do in Hawaii for years.
At some point, I will make a major donation after all of the smoke and ashes have settled here and we figure out what the rebuilding is going to look like. This is going to be a long and difficult process. You're going to see a lot of Phoenix stories rising from the ashes here.
Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
There's not anything else to say. Ha! There's nothing else to say. I could just end it right there. I mean, he just said everything. He said everything. And then the fake acting. See, she could act, but that right there, we could see right through that. Even if we didn't know the other information, we would be wondering, what's going on? What does she know? Because something ain't right with her, just her stance, her prowess, the way her face looked down. Like, yeah, I'm glad all those Aboriginals are gone. They did the same thing to the United States. The same regime did the same thing here. And they did the same thing in 1898 when they took over that place. They had to go and ask Congress, hey, you know what? Look, we don't want anything to happen with Japan coming over there taking it. So we need to just take it. Y'all moved in and took them people's stuff. Same entity. And honestly, to be candid with you, if I were not on the air, I would have no words right now. But I tell you guys all the time, somebody in radio taught me a long time ago that dead air is not your friend. But I tell you right now, how about just a moment of silence? And I'm gonna have to take the monetization off of this because I already know they're gonna hit it. I think I'm gonna do that now. But yeah. Can we just sit here and just reflect upon this for just a split second? Let me get in here and take this off. Oh boy. I don't know about you, but are you pissed? Are you a little angry? I'm a little pissed. I'm a little angry. And it is because I do know the whole history of that area. There we go. Off. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow. Yep. Really, honestly, after that, I could just end this because there's really nothing more I could even add to that. And I don't really want to. I would just like to let that sit right here. Just sit right there. Just let that sit right there. I'm going to have to contact that media outlet and let them know that I ran it, and hopefully they won't zap it or zap me. But yeah, just watching that put this crap in perspective. It really did put everything in perspective. I am totally speechless. Daryl, do you want me to play that? What is that you got there? If it's somebody else's stuff, I don't want to play it here on YouTube because I don't know, I don't know them. I know that I can reach out to them because I know one of the guys that work with this company that I just played their stuff. So I know I can reach out to them. But I'm gobsmacked. I mean, it's almost worth playing again because just in case you missed something, you know what I'm saying? Just in case you missed something. Hey, Anonymous. Well, you know what? I don't think any of them that are in that business of doing things. There was a link that was up there. It was A Plain Truth. Oh, that was his website. Is that it? We're helping to promote that cat. That's cool. I don't know, but it's A Plain Truth or something. I agree with you, Anonymous. I want to know if she's become AI. They probably all are. Well, let's continue to go through Twatters. Play it again. Okay. Starfire says play it again. Do you guys say play it again? If I get 10 play it again, I'll play it again. If I get 10 play it again, I've already taken the monetization off, so I wouldn't get a coin for it anyway. It doesn't matter because it's very important. Doesn't matter. Money ain't mattering right now. I got 1 play it again. Let me get 9 more play it again, and I will play it again. If anybody can do that. Let me get 9. Yeah, play it again. Yes. Wayne says yes. I agree. Everyone should pay attention. Is that a yes, Min Iki? Okay, play it again. Okay, let's roll. That's enough for me, especially when I start getting, yeah, I think because we have a time lapse. They have a 10-second time lapse. So that means that there's more people saying again. All right, let's go.
Survivors of the Maui fire say that they received no warning and that the flames appeared so quickly that escape was difficult. Everything was suddenly in flames, and many found refuge in the ocean for hours while their homes burned to the ground and into the same powdery ash footprint we've seen in recent years. So far, it is estimated that nearly 1,000 people have died. Locals are worried this includes hundreds of children who were home due to school being canceled that day. Several people are reporting that the government is not only doing little to help, but they are blocking local efforts to do so and are not allowing local donations through, and that they are blocking life-saving medicine because it isn't federally approved.
Denying people access to bring in supplies, just supplies for people to live.
The government withholding every single one of our donations because we are not a part of FEMA and Red Cross. So none of this is eligible for giving out. Tell me why? I have no freaking clue.
The people of Maui are on their own for now. And aside from the federal government's bureaucratic failure, they have good reason to be suspicious. Just like what we saw 5 years ago in Paradise, California, there was nothing normal about these fires. Within a day of burning, it was like a bomb went off.
When you see the full extent of the destruction of Lahaina, it will shock you. It does appear like a bomb and fire went off, if I may. And all of those buildings virtually are going to have to be rebuilt. It will be a new Lahaina.
Local residents have been reporting bright flashes of light. One was captured by a home security camera that appears to have been the start of the Olinda fire. Many people are saying that it was directed energy weapons. We know that most major governments already have them. And during the California fires, online weather maps recorded what looks like a laser from above, striking an area just before it bursts into flames. In his research, Dennis Mills discovered that the incendiary aluminum and barium nanodust from chemtrails is most likely fueling the ferocity of today's so-called super wildfires. And on the day before the Maui fires broke out, locals were reporting a heavy overcast from chemtrailing that they'd never seen before. It's also interesting to note that the Maui police chief was the incident commander for the Las Vegas mass shooting in 2017. Lahaina is considered to be a historic and sacred land. It was the capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii before it was taken by the United States. It's been occupied by Native Hawaiians ever since, who are defiantly opposed to the mainland outsiders who have been buying up land with no respect for local culture. Not just BlackRock and Vanguard, but billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, who owns more land on Kauai than what the government of Kauai owns, and Oprah Winfrey, who has bought over 1,000 acres of land in Hawaii, including a new 870 acres in Maui she just bought this spring. In 2018, the Paradise wildfires broke out exactly where the United Nations have plans to somehow make off-limits to humans. And that same year, a report on wildfire prevention was published that was focused on the exact same areas in Maui where the fires just broke out.
All the historic downtown, all of it is demolished and all the houses gone. but those commercial big box stores are still there.
Hawaii Governor Josh Green has been putting the World Economic Forum's Great Reset agenda ahead of Hawaiian interests. Just weeks before the fire, he unveiled an emergency proclamation on housing that eliminates the traditional Land Use Commission, allowing the government more leeway to build as they see fit, such as building 15-minute smart cities run by artificial intelligence, just like they've been planning to do in Hawaii for years.
At some point, I will make a major donation after all of the smoke and ashes have settled here and we figure out what the rebuilding is going to look like. This is going to be a long and difficult process. You're going to see a lot of Phoenix stories rising from the ashes here.
Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
Wow. Okay, so I found a local, it looks like a community paper there in the Maui area. And there's something to consider here. Maui strong with aloha, we're going to read that. But then there was a story about the real estate there. Let me go here. Yeah. This was in 2009. Let me let you guys see this story. And then I'm going to show you the most recent story this same publication put up. Let me give you guys a full screen so you can see it. So there was always going to be little signs and symbols of things that were going on in a place before an actual catastrophe hits or this type of thing, right? So this says the Maui real estate market worse than we thought before. Foreclosures galore. This was in 2009, July 13th, 2009. Now, of course, we know that that was during the whole crash in time period, right? 2007, 2008. But I think it's important to just glance over this and then go to the next story. Recently, the article's writer by Hawaii Life, that's what it is. Maui real estate market worse than we thought. Foreclosures galore by Maui Life, July 13th, 2009. The article starts with, recently, I wrote an article. Maui home sales are falling. Will property prices begin to decline? I wrote the article because there were some things about the Maui real estate market that just didn't make sense to me, the author says. Like, why hadn't prices dropped at the same level as other Hawaiian islands? A pretty good discussion ensued, and the consensus was that the reality would eventually catch up with Maui's inflated home prices, and the Valley Isle would see property prices drop. It was just a matter of time. Well, that time may have already come. In recent article from the Maui News entitled Maui Wipeout Residents Swept in Debt, we learned that there were so many Maui foreclosures at the last auction, 380 were pending, according to the article, that people were having a hard time trying to keep up with the auctioneer. What's even more shocking in this is that the article states Maui is in a recession. Why is this shocking? The author asks. Because everything I've heard regarding the state of Maui is up to this point, and it has been about its strong economy. So maybe Maui isn't the golden child of Hawaii after all, the author says. And maybe their vacation-driven economy isn't recession-proof, as so many led us to believe. Like one person commented, virtue, if you're out there, we'd love to hear more. In my last article, quote, Maui residents are in for I guess this must be something else. Looks like a heck of a wake up or a shock. Wake up a shock. I don't know what these things are economically. Okay, so that's very telling when you consider where we are now. When you consider where they are right now, that's pretty telling. This next story is Maui Strong, help Lahaina town and Maui recover from the fires. Please donate now. Okay, that's something local. Now, this right here is a story that they're talking about the actual, what's going on in the city right now. And this was written yesterday by David Lundstrom. It is inconceivable to comprehend the damage and destruction that Lahaina, Maui, and the people of Hawaii are experiencing. The Lahaina fire is certainly looking to be one of the worst, shouldn't put natural, brother, the worst disasters, I ain't saying natural, the worst disasters in United States history and certainly in the history of the Hawaiian Islands. The images and devastation are just starting to unfold with weeks, months, and possibly years ahead to rebuild this amazing community. As the death toll continues to rise, we are all collectively hoping and praying for the best for all of those who are affected by such fast moving and horrible event. The outpouring of immediate aloha is hard to explain to others if you're not a part of living in this wonderful part of the world and on these amazing islands. Immediately, once the news broke, anyone and everyone that could help locally did so. Within hours within hours, our brokerage, Hawaii Life, launched plans to offer assistance and find matching through our existing Hawaii Life charitable funds and platforms. Immediately, we all reached out to our friends, coworkers, loved ones to make sure we checked in and made sure everyone was accounted for. There is unimaginable pain and worry for all those who've not reached out as of yet. With the fast moving flames, it is feared that many were trapped in their cars, water, homes, or on the road in an effort to try to escape the chaos. It will still be some time before we know the true extent of the loss of life. Homes, businesses, and structures can be rebuilt, but we can never bring back those who perished or bring peace to the loved ones. We continue to mobilize and to give to Maui in any way possible. There have been numerous funds set up, shipping of needed goods and supplies and more. It is touching to see so many offering whatever they can to help those in need. This is the true meaning of aloha. And it's not only spoken, but it's part of who we are. My goodness, look at this. The long road ahead has not even begun to start, but with the help of the community, I know the people of Hawaii will help in ways that we have not even seen as yet. Now they always want to see if you can help, and they're putting all this information here. I'm gonna put this down because you know what? I really feel like people who are on the ground. I'm the type of person who likes to give to folks on the ground as opposed to these major companies, because oftentimes some of those major companies don't always give the funds where they're supposed to go. That's just been my experience. So there's that link if you're interested in it. Again, it's okay to give it to people that are on the ground. And that's how I see it. But according to what I'm able to see, it looks like they have been trying to make this area pretty distraught for a while. That's what I feel like. They've been just trying to break this whole area down for a good little while. So it's sad. Tammy says 33 degrees represented by the Phoenix. Yeah. Yeah, the Phoenix rising. But look here, let me tell you some stuff that I have not said here. When you guys hear me say look into such and such, it's because there's a lot of study that I've done on it, but I can't say it here. I want you to go and look into it. Look into what we think is the eagle. And then look at the story of the Phoenix. And it should make a lot of sense. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? All right, you guys. I think that this cat from InfoWars really put the nail in the proverbial coffin for us today. And I believe that we've got enough to sit here and to really think about. Let me put his link or the link to that in here as well so that everyone has it. Okay? Let me see if I can do that. Let me come out of here. If I come down, will I be able to grab the link? Yes, I should. It's almost like follow, add, block, embed the post, report the post. I'm not doing it. But how do I share it? Is it under settings? No. How do I share this? Oh, gee, I can't. Can't figure out how to share it. I don't know how to share from here. Maybe when I start the video and go in it, can you share from there? Girl, you just really be challenged sometimes, don't you? I really be challenged. Anyway, I can't. Irish locals in Bailey Brack have set fire to a building set to host dozens of unvetted invaders tonight. Lord help these people. Okay, we're going to end on this one. It's just 10 seconds. We're just going to end on this one. People, help, help, help. Yeah, I don't even think that there's anything else I could say, sis. I really don't. I don't think there's anything else that I have to add to that because, sometimes it's just better to just leave some stuff alone. But look at these cats. We're going to leave out on a very quirky note. So apparently, according to this, it says Irish locals in Bailey Brack have set fire to a building that was set to host dozens of unvetted invaders tonight. When the government is the problem, the people rise up. Okay, let's see what they got going here. So this is a fire. These folks done set a fire to the place. They ain't gonna do it, but put them somewhere else. Is there sound on this? No. I think Bailey Brackett says no. Just a hunch. Ha 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 ha. Help them, Lord. Help them, Lord. All right, you guys, we're out of here. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with us today. And I just want everybody to remember to intercede for those people who may have less or who may look like they got more. You know they got less. The End of the Beginning live stream next. Oh, is that somebody else? I should watch some of these people that you recommend sometimes. I'm such a recluse. There's only a certain little group of people that I watch or that I hang out with. I'm going to have to check that. I'm going to show this to my husband. Hopefully it will wake him up. Girl, your family is the hardest people to wake up. Family is the hardest people to wake up. That's been my experience. They're the hardest. Listen, I love all of you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for the support that you give me for this channel. I really do. Before you leave, do me the biggest favor you could ever do, and that is to hit the like button. Hit the like button because it is not going to be kicked by monetization opportunities for them into the algorithm. Because without that, even though they can still play ads, yeah, I just want you guys to do that. I want you guys to hit the like button for me. That helps a lot. All right, you guys, remember what we always say on any Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys continue to take care of yourselves, and then I want you to take care of everyone else around you. And until I see you again, please continue to take care of my friend, because my friend is you. Bye-bye. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.